So day 11, continuing to work on the top secret paintings that I can't really tell you about or show you while I'm working on them. So instead, to change things up, and it's kind of a warm up for myself, I'm going to do a quick tutorial on my thinking with using watercolor. I thought that'd be fun, something I haven't really done, and yeah, share it with you today. Okay, going to do the old traditional ball to show how light works around something. So sketch that out first, just a basic circle. Basic circle. And doesn't need to be perfect for these purposes if you're doing it along at home. And with that in, I'm going to now use a little bit of watercolor. This is a set I got at, I think, Hobby Lobby, maybe at a Michael's. I'm not real big on mixing my watercolor before putting it on. I know, traditional artists out there are losing their minds over this, but with the way that watercolor works, you're adding water to pigment and then putting it down on a surface, and when the water evaporates, the pigment is left there. So I like to mix on the paper as I work and build layers. So putting this first one down, it's kind of a tan. These are mostly like what I use for a lot of different flesh tones, skin tones. So the light is going to be coming in this way and hitting the ball about here. So I'm just doing a light edge there, and then we'll have about like this for how the light is hitting the ball. And this brush that I'm using, it's a Pentel water brush. It's just, for time savings. I still use a traditional brush for my inking, but this is a huge time savings because, see, it holds the water in the stem of the brush, and you can just, apply a little pressure, it brings more water out, or not, and you have a little bit heavier pigment on there. So filling this in. And one of the other cool things about this water brush that I like is I can clean out the pigment real quick. You just, squeeze the water out, and then there's mostly just water on here. And before this is fully dried, I can kind of blend in so that I don't have as hard of a line on there. Thinking about edges is a thing that you'll get into more with advanced painting. So now with that on there, going to bring in a bit of, I guess it'd be burnt sienna, I don't know, dark orange. I'm not real big on the fancy names for the colors. Drives my wife nuts. She's like, you're an artist and you don't know this. But you can see, since I've got that other layer in there, I can now come in with this a little bit further out. It's another gradation of color for how the light is moving around the ball. And because I'm doing this on white paper, the surface comes through, so the white surface, and that informs things as well. So like when you have a layer down, that will show through a bit, and also as you build up layers, you get a little bit more vivid color because there's less of the paper showing through. It's also a consideration when you go to scan in because the white paper will reflect the light of the scanner back. Things you don't think about. A little more gradation there. We'll bring it up a little bit more here. So you can see how the light is starting to work its way around. And now, I could bring in, I guess, another warm color, but for the purposes of this, not wanting to take forever, going to bring in a lighter blue to begin the shadow. So that'll be here. And yes, when you're working with watercolor, you want to go from light to dark, from warm color to cool color, because watercolor is additive, not subtractive. So once it's there, it is there. You can't really remove it. So you can also see how this creates a bit of shadow. You can really see with like the Impressionist paintings, like Monet and their like, that they didn't even really use black, that they let cool colors be the shadows. So now with that in, I'm going to bring in some of my fancier paint here just because it's a little more vibrant for the purposes of this demo, for a darker blue. So this is the area where the light is not really even hitting the ball. And it creates, as you see, the feeling of it being three-dimensional, and it's about how the light moves its way around the ball. Kind of apple-ish, I guess. We can put a happy stem on there, a little happy leaf. There's our apple. And yeah, like that. Put a little drop shadow on there. Make it really feel like it's on a surface. And that's it. There you go. That's a ball painted with watercolor. Not bad.